Hey guys, welcome to the Evening Sun Garden YouTube channel. My name is Crystal and this is the first video on this channel, so if you are just finding me, thank you so much for joining me. A little bit about me before we get started. I am 30 this year and I was born and raised in New England. So I pretty much didn't start gardening until 4 years ago. I moved south and I finally found some people that knew what they were doing so I could kind of pick their brain. Up until then, I really had never seen a garden at all. Back home, I don't know a lot of people who do it. Actually, I don't know anybody. Well, I do now, but like when I was growing up, I really just didn't know anybody who did anything related to gardening. So I never had any inkling that I wanted to try it. And then I moved here and I started my very first garden was a balcony garden, and I just had, I think, green peppers and tomatoes, and that was it. And I just grew those in pots. And after I bought my house here, I sit on just about an acre, and I started adding some raised beds outside and started learning different vegetables. And this will be my 4th season growing. And I am super excited. I'm adding a bunch of stuff this year. I'm just going to continue to learn. I hardly know anything. So mostly everything that I learned from YouTube or blogs and stuff. And so I just wanted to share my journey with you guys in case you are brand new gardeners and you feel like maybe everybody knows more than you do. I want you to feel comfortable here and know that we're learning together. And if you are a seasoned gardener, please feel free to leave me comments down below and help me out. I really appreciate any help I can get. And I think gardening is a lot of just trial and error, really. And so that's what we're doing. And I wanted to start this channel out by doing my very first garden tour. It is the first week of May, and so we don't have a whole lot going on outside yet, but I wanted to show you guys what I do have so far. So let's go outside. All right, so I have my garden in my front yard, and I'm gonna show you guys kind of what's going on so far. Let me see if I can flip this camera around. All right, so right outside of my front door, I actually have, these are sweet potato vines. I think I might have bought them too early because I don't have a space for them in the garden yet. So they might die, I don't know, but hopefully they don't. This is also a strawberry plant. First time that I'm growing strawberries is this year, so I don't really know. A lot of things I'm experimenting with this year. I've got these in 5-gallon grow bags that I bought. I tried to build an extra bed this year, and apparently the wood prices are just through the roof and nobody around me has cedar, so I opted for grow bags this year. These are radishes. They're not doing great. I don't know if we're going to harvest any radishes out of these, but these are going to come out of here in probably 2 weeks or so, whether they have radishes or not, because I have something else that I'm planning on putting in here. This next one I planted carrots. I think I'm going to have to do another planting because they just did not sprout, and they've been in here for about a month. So, and this last one as well had lettuce in it, and I just think, I don't know what happened, but they didn't sprout either. So I think that's pretty much empty at this point. And that is the 4 grow bags that I have up here. And then we're going to go over to the big garden over here. Sorry for the wobbly camera. All right, so let's see what's going on here. These 2 are blueberry bushes. They're different varieties. One of them still has a tag on it. Let's see what it says. Right in here, blueberry buckle. This one did pretty good last year. That was a brand new addition last year. This one I've had for 2 years, and the growth from last year is looking pretty good. These should start sprouting blueberries here soon. I think we've got a few buds on them. I am hand watering this garden because I don't have a system set up. This is all weedy. I got to get this out. And so this is the only raised bed that I have that is tall. I do have back problems, so I tried to get a tall bed. And these actually grew from seed for the first time this year, and I'm super proud of them. I don't know if they're going to do anything. These are green beans. I believe they're both Blue Lake bush beans, maybe. Not sure. There's a lot of new stuff happening in the garden this year. These over here are onions. I believe they're white onions that I'm growing from sets. I did try to grow onions from seeds, but they just didn't sprout. But these have seemed to take off pretty good. And then I don't have anything else in this bed so far, just open space. But it has been amended I put some compost on top, and then we're gonna see. I have a plan for this year, so we'll see what, as the season goes, we'll see what it grows. Oh, I got a lily right here, and she is not as big as her sister that I put in the ground. I think I might transfer her to the ground at some point. And then this bucket underneath, I had zinnias in these last year. I might put some sort of flower in them, or I might do onions or something like that. I haven't decided what I'm doing with that bucket yet. All right, and then we're gonna go over, I think I'm eventually gonna try, if you can see behind me where this bed is, I'm gonna eventually try and put beds all the way down there, because this whole thing is my front yard and there's a lot of space. And I don't know, I'm gonna try and mulch this whole area at some point, but pretty much right now it's a work in progress. I've added 1 or 2 beds a year, and hopefully we're gonna continue with that, because it is kind of expensive to build beds that are that big. It took me, this was last year before the prices of wood went up, but that bed cost me about $120 to build and fill. So yeah, I'm trying to do one at a time. But let's turn this camera around again and see what else we're working with. Okay, so this area is a mess, and I do apologize. It needs to be mowed and weeded, and it's just a disaster. So my very first year here, I built a very small raised beds with the cinder block corners and the wood that you kind of see over here. And this year, because I couldn't get any wood, but I wanted to expand still, I ended up taking the blocks and spreading them out. And this is some fence posts that I ended up having to replace that part of the fence. I'm trying to repurpose that into a garden bed. I just haven't been successful yet. And we're gonna go over here and look at this in a minute, but I just wanted you guys to see, I ended up expanding these 2 beds into 4 beds using the fence as my backboard, and hopefully that works this year to kind of get more space, because like I said, I couldn't find any wood. So anyway, but right here I've got some kale planted. Obviously it's gone to seed. The flowers are gorgeous, and I'm hoping to gather some seeds from these before I pull them out. But all of this dirt right here and the dirt in this bed is going to end up in those beds, and then I'm going to compost it and add some more dirt or whatever. But that's pretty much what we're working with this year. So the rest of this bed is just weeds, so it definitely needs to be weeded, and all of this is gonna be transferred over. Is this kale? What is this? Sorry guys, I don't know, that doesn't look like a weed. I think it might be kale. Interesting. I think this is the kale I pulled out and just threw over here, and it ended up growing back into the ground. So funny. Let's see if it tastes like anything. Yep, still pretty good. Okay, that's bed number 1. And then this, obviously I had the boards here, I've already moved them. I've still got some, I think that's red tail lettuce that needs to come out. I really thought it was gonna go to seed, but it ended up just, I mean, it's gorgeous. And it's not bitter. Might take that in today. Okay, so this is the part that's not full yet. There's going to be one more. That right there, that wood is going to turn over and make the 4th bed along this wall. And then I'm going to put some cardboard down to help with the weeds before I lay any dirt or anything in here. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to be working with 4 beds right here, and then the large bed behind me, and then a couple of grow bags. I think I have 10 grow bags and a couple other pots. So this right here is potatoes. I've already hilled these twice. I don't know anything about potatoes. I've never grown potatoes before. I don't know. Do I need to add more dirt? Do I just let them go at this point? I'm not really sure. I've literally never grown potatoes, and I'm growing them in grow bags. The rest of these grow bags are empty right now. I will be planting something in the near future. I've got some seeds started inside, and I've never started seeds before, so some of them have taken and some of them haven't, and whatever hasn't taken, I'm going to go to a nursery and buy started plants at this point. So I also have these 2 bags of compost. I don't have a compost system here yet, and I would like to add it this year, but as of right now I don't have one. So I just went to Home Depot and grabbed this stuff, and I don't know how good it is, honestly, but I guess something is better than nothing, right? These are my tomato cages from last year. They're broken. They're not going to do the job this year. I'm thinking about putting some like netting, some, what is it called? Like trellis netting along the fence for some of the climbing plants, but we will see. So yeah, this is pretty much what we're working with. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted you guys to see what the garden is looking like right now. Obviously, it's going to be much better and things are going to be a lot different probably every week. I think this week I'm going to try and get the boards finished over here and move some of this dirt over to where it needs to be behind me. Get a couple more bags to really start filling out these lower beds. And maybe visit a nursery this week. So hopefully I will have this planted, like fully planted, in a week or two. I just got back from vacation, so I didn't want to plant anything while I was gone because of watering and everything like that. Like I said, I am hand watering this space right now, so maybe I might add a drip irrigation, but probably not this year, maybe next year. But this is kind of what we're working with right now, and I hope that you guys are enjoying this, and I hope that I'm going to be able to look back year after year and see the difference that is happening in this space. Like, I really wish I started the first year that I started here, because I just had the 2 beds, and then last year I added that large bed, and then this year I'm adding 2 more beds. So I really just think YouTube is going to be a great way to see the growth of everything that's happening in this space and really just look back and see how far we've come, because sometimes things can get frustrating when you have a vision in your head of what you want your garden to look like, and it's just so frustrating that you're not there yet. But then it's really helpful to just take a step back and just embrace what you have, and just like the fact that you can even grow food for your family at all is amazing. And I'm just really enjoying my time of learning. Gardening is so peaceful for me. In 2020, when things were so stressful, like, it was so helpful to just come out here when everything is in full bloom and just sit here and look at things grow. And if you are watching this channel, you're probably a gardener too, so you probably understand exactly what I'm saying. And if you're not a gardener, I suggest picking up a plant, just anything, whatever you eat, just pick one and try and grow it. I think you have the space for it. Just find like a sunny spot outside, something that you can even grow in containers, and just try your hand at it, because really, honestly, I am enjoying it, and I think you will too. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me on today's garden tour. I will see you guys next week, and we will do another garden tour. Bye. No garden video would be complete without a view of the sunset. It's just gorgeous.